Welcome to Discourse. Today we're going to be discussing Infinity Tales by M.C. Ryder. There's a phrase I've heard humans utter about cats having 9 lives. I died once and haven't died since. I became stronger, faster, my appetite changed, my senses heightened beyond the norm. I learned how to understand human language. Revolved through many homes, have come to learn that humans struggle every day with the darkness within them that always tries to overtake their light. That the scent of sadness is always the same. Light rain against dry ground and salt. I know sadness. Alone, it drains energy, but I have the power to alleviate it with my unconditional love. So this is Leo's origin story. We finally get a hot take of where it all started for him, right? Before he met Nadine, before he was her trusty sidekick.
Before he was a vampire cat.
Before he was a vampire cat.
Oh, who would have thought?
That he was a vampire?
No, that he had like a normal life before the vampires took him.
I know, it's kind of cool. I just assumed, like, we knew that she had rescued him, right? But I didn't realize, like, from what or where it all started, right? I feel like through the whole series, because this is kind of like one of her smaller books in between the whole series, the Dark series, right? So I feel like we've read so much about Leo throughout all these books that it's kind of nice just to have him have his own book.
Yeah, because we just see him, he's already a part of Nadine's life. We just seen him as her cat, and then eventually the vampire cat, the mascot. But we never realized, he went through a lot before he even met Nadine.
Right, so we're starting off where he's trying to figure out, like, he was just born, right? He's trying to figure out the world and the sounds and the smells and everything around him. He's like, he mentioned he was crying out for his mom and she never came. And then he was
taken from her and taken to he didn't say vet, but it was like a dark place with similar animals and the smell of like
canines and things. A woman is who takes him home. We're thinking an older lady because she eventually dies. And she was good to him. And then he's adopted by a male human who wasn't very quite nice.
It was mostly for a gift for his kid. The kid treated Leo right, was kind of taken care of in a way by him, but he was fed, compared to the first owner, he was fed dry food,
right?
So he would throw up sometimes, and the male human, as Leo calls him, would be angry with him for no reason, and that he would do things that he would do at his first home, right? Like scratch the sofa or jump around, but he would always get in trouble, so he was confused, and that led with him being kicked out, right? So, Dad forced the kid to get rid of the cat.
Oh.
Leo. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Cried a little.
I like how you said the cat. Leo. Yeah. Anyways,
gotta be clear.
So he gets pushed out of the second home he has, and then I like the fact that the author we're in a cat's perspective, right? So we're seeing everything, smelling everything, experiencing everything through a cat's perspective, a cat's point of view, which is very interesting because I've never read a book like that before. And I like that she kind of shows different homes, different lifestyles of people, the way animals are treated in different homes. So I thought that was a really good aspect to kind of pull into the whole story itself.
Yeah, even
like
Leo,
before we meet Nadine and all that, right?
Yeah, and it's true because even Leo was like, I don't understand what my human is saying, but she's happy. And every time she seems happy and excited, she feeds me wet food.
Yeah, and that's good. That's a good thing.
She brings me a toy, something to pounce on. But with the male human, I guess it was like a father and son, he was always aggressive. There was always no. I would always hear this no and see anger in him. And I think Leo could detect certain things from humans, right?
Oh, yeah. So I really thought that was a cool aspect to pull into the book. Like, we always say, like, animals are able to just sense how we're feeling or what kind of emotions we're going through. And I like the way that the author kind of expressed that, right? So I do have some quotes for that. Oh, when we were talking about sadness, he reeks of sadness, right? That was kind of cool. You're like, oh, okay, so the cat can smell emotions. That's pretty interesting. And then some emotions even have like certain smells, which I never thought about. The breeze carries the sweet scent of caramelized undertones and vanilla I associate with contentment. And like I thought about that and I was like, yeah, I could see it having some, like, vanilla stuff going on, right?
Yeah, and whenever she sensed, like, the sadness in the kid or in the first owner, he would purr and kind of, cats rub up on you, make you feel happy. And he would sense that as well, like the shift. The happiness, the unhappiness, the evilness, I gotta watch out, this human is gonna attack me.
So, yeah, that's sprinkled throughout the whole book, which is pretty cool, because then you kind of you start to associate, which smells to which emotions, and you can better grasp like what that character is going through, or potentially what can happen next, right? Based off of the scent. Now we meet, I like it when he goes into the wild. I call it the wild short life, right?
Out in the streets.
Yeah, out in the streets for Leo. So as he's getting pushed out of his second home, he meets Tom, which I just love that his name is Tom. And he's just a stray cat. But Tom kind of, like, at first is kind of like, bro, get out of here. Like, you're invading my space.
You're in my territory. Get out.
Yeah, and you're such a house cat. Like, you can't even protect yourself or feed yourself. But then, like, he's kind of warms up to him a bit, and he lets him stick around. So Tom and Leo are now friends. And Tom is, like, he plays, like, a really huge part in Leo's life. Like,
yeah, he beats him up intentionally just to see if Leo's gonna fight back or not.
Hey.
Which he does.
Yeah, and I have a quote for that, actually. That's when he's, like, trying to show him, like, how to be big and bad, or sort of, right? He says, size doesn't matter. The volume of confidence does. Plus, I have a wicked southpaw. I just thought that was cute for Tom, because I was like, man, he's funny and stuff, you know?
Yeah, and southpaw is like a stance in boxing, but it's also a kitty paw, you know?
Kitty paw, yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, you got potential. You can stick around.
Yeah, I guess. Even though I did save you.
I'll teach you a few things. But eventually, they become friends, like you said.
Yeah, I think he just softens him up a bit. Like, just enough to where he's like, oh, he's going to die without me. I might as well just befriend him and just help him out. And I think also, as much as Leo got out of the relationship that they formed, Tom also did. I feel like he found true friendship, which, I mean, you know, in life.
He seemed to have a sore spot for humans. Like, whenever they were mentioned, he would be angry. So it seemed like he also had a nice home and was kicked out, or something abusive may have happened.
And he resents that.
Yeah, so he has that, I guess, the connection with Leo and happiness. He is as dark as the night sky, his hair is longer than mine, the tip of his ear is gone, and he looks rough around the edges. Leo's first introduction of Tom. It's like this rough-looking cat that has a bitten ear, and he looks like he's been in a few scraps.
Yeah, he's lived a life, man.
Yeah. Hey, but they spent a good time together, and he taught Leo how to hunt.
Yeah.
Hunting mice, how to protect himself, even.
Also, that relationship with Tom helped him find his purpose, right? And mostly his strength, but also like his purpose in life. So, because it leads him to find Nadine, and she takes him home, and
she kidnaps him.
Yeah, she kidnaps him.
She puts him in her bag and just walks off.
I was like, wait, she just like straight up picked him up and put him in her bag. But I think he had a connection with her though, right from the beginning. So she takes him home. He starts to kind of feel out like the house routine, right? He knows that they're good people, her mom and her, because he's like, you know, they haven't tried to yell at me or got crazy. It was pretty comfortable, and he's like, all right, this is cool.
They're usually fighting with each other.
Right. And he can feel that, right? He can sense all the...
Here, but now after Tom's tutelage, he could see, like, he mentioned seeing these dark flecks, but the light overpowers them.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So that's just like they have like a bright and nice aura, but he could sense there's like darkness in some areas that are not overpowering, but they're there. He could sense them.
She is good, but at low times I help to chase the dark flecks from growing and taking over her light. Her light is bright and powerful, but the dark flecks are always sitting at the edge, ready to swallow up her light. I feel like that's another aspect of him finding his purpose, right? Like, he's like, okay, I know I can help change their moods, because he does describe like how he can sense their emotions, the moods that they're in, and he knows that he has that power, the capability of doing whatever he needs to do for them to change those emotions. So he positively changes their emotions, which I know we all know that animals do really do that in real life.
Yeah, because it seems he helped out the relationship too with her and her mom, right?
Yeah.
He was kind of like the middle person, the buffer. Whenever they were both angry, he would help both out in different ways, right? Because the mom was less emotional,
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess she relied on him to help dampen like her emotions, to help put her at ease.
Yeah, in a different way, where Nadine kind of slept with Leo and he would like massage her.
Yeah, like I feel like she needed more of like and he even said that she needs more in-depth like looking after.
When Leo was hanging out with Tom, like he gained his independence and like his confidence to be on his own. He also got a little too confident. Like he would try to form a bond with this human that he found, right? But there was always a dog barking at him. Yeah. And there was this part in the book where the dog would always mark his territory when Leo came around. So Leo got up on the fence and peed over where the dog peed at in front of his face. And the dog's like staring at him, growling from like his doghouse or something.
Like, how dare you,
and
cat?
Leo just looking at him like, yeah, what are you going to do? Nothing.
Oof.
Then
Leo.
he went back to the owner who would feed him, but he would never invite him in. So I was like, oh well. He'll just mess with the dog and then go back to Tom.
Yep.
So that I thought was hilarious. Like, man, this guy. And that's why he hates werewolves. Freaking dogs.
Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe that's why. You're right. Maybe that's why Leo doesn't like the werewolves later on in the series, because of this one instance with this darn dog in his way of getting food. Thanks for hanging out with us, and be sure to check out Infinity Tales by MC Ryder.